Thanks for coming back to my YouTube channel. What I've got for you today is a demonstration of the controls and the motor circuit that I use on my Ultra Series transducer poles. So why don't we start with the battery. This is a 2.5 ampere hour lithium ion battery, and I also have an option for a 5 ampere hour. I've kind of settled on this 2.5 because the way I fish, it lasts me about 3 months before I have to recharge it. It does have indicator lights, so you kind of know where you are all the time. And recharging is not a big deal. It comes with a little charger. You just plug it in and plug it into a socket and recharge it. It's easy to take off of the way I have it mounted. It's mounted on Velcro, so you can take it off, take it in the house, and charge it up. I just put one of these on my friend's crappie guide boat, and I gave him 2 batteries because the worst thing could happen to him would be if he were out on a fishing trip and ran out of battery. It's easy to pop a new one back on there and keep on going. The next thing we'll talk about is the motor itself. This is the double shaft motor, so that we can mount the direction indicator on the other side of it. This happens to be the 5 RPM. I've tried the 3, I tried the 10, I tried different kinds of speed controls, and basically I've kind of settled on 5 RPM for me. Now, that may not work for you. You may need to experiment a little bit, but I came back to the 5 RPM and just settled in there. And then the controller. This is a Wi-Fi operated control unit for a 12-volt DC motor. Actually, it's I think from 6 volts up to 30 volts. So if you have any kind, it doesn't have to be a transducer pole, but if you have any kind of a permanent magnet DC motor circuit that you wanting to control, this little guy is really neat. On top of all that, on top of its versatility, I think it's like $16 on Amazon. And the other thing I like about this is, as you know, if you've seen my other videos, I use an electrical LB for the mounting, for the motor mounting. And if you cut those little tabs off on the end there, this thing just slides right down in there. Fits perfectly. And so all you have is the 2 power wires coming in, positive and negative. You have next to it the 2 motor wires that go to here, and then there are also 2 wires over here for limit switches. And then let me stop for just a moment and show you this is what I use for a foot switch. If you've seen my other ones, you know that what I do is that little controller over there comes with 2 key fobs to operate it. I just took those key fobs and put them inside this, and then put some switch contacts on there to work it. I'm gonna have to, I just built this one. I hadn't figured out why that guy wants to keep coming off, but we're gonna put him aside. And you'll notice the way that this works is that as you're coming up on that limit switch, and then obviously it stops at rotation, and then you can drive it off by driving it back in the other direction. Now, if you happen to have a foot switch, or if you happen to prefer to have a wired foot switch or a wired switch instead of that, then you can do this. And again, this just hooks up directly to the controller, has its own contacts to hook up to. And these switches are just There we go. So we're going to drive back off there. These switches are just single pole, momentary contact switches, both these and these, because this little controller requires dry contacts for those. So there you have it. And I just thought that it would simplify everything. Maybe it'd be easier for you to see how all of this comes together with the video rather than trying to create some of the sheets that I've already done. So I am working on a module for this that will give you automatic scanning back and forth. But I'm having some delivery problems with some of the control boards that I need to do that with. So I decided it'd be better to go ahead and make this little video and pop it out there to you guys. Because if you are building one, or if you're building anything with a 12-volt DC motor, you really ought to consider this little controller. So again, thanks for coming back to my YouTube channel. And as soon as I get the Autoscan finished up, I'll just tack it on to the end of this thing. Thanks again. In the first part of this video, I showed you how to hook up this little Wi-Fi controller to the double shaft motor, and how the limit switch is hooked up, as well as how the foot switch all worked. And at the time, I also had a set of manual switches that could be hooked to these last two connections here, K1 and K2, and that's where I had it hooked. And as you saw, I can move it back and forth just with those manual switches in the event that you preferred it that way. I told you at the time that I had an idea about how I could turn this into Autoscan, and I'll show you what I did. This is a dual relay timed control board, and what I'm doing is using the normally open side of each one of these relays, which are controlled by the timer board. Now, the reason I've had such a hard time finding what I needed here is that I needed something that was very small. Hopefully I'm going to be able to fit all of this into that LB that I use for the motor. And the problem with this is that it did not have it was not Wi-Fi operated. But I do have a little Wi-Fi operated switch here that I use to bring power into it. I had this for another application, and I thought, well, shoot, I'll just use that. So let me give you an idea how this works. So if I turn this on, you can see it rotate. In this case, it clicked off and rotated in the other direction. I'm purposely waiting for it to hit that other limit switch. It kind of works its way around because it's set on 5 seconds in the rotation. Now this next time it should hit that limit switch. Okay, now once it hits that limit switch, it will sit there until that particular part of the cycle times out, and then it will drive off of it. If you want to move it to another, let's say further clockwise, then just turn it off, because when you turn it back on, it's going to start up in that direction again. and you'll notice that it was very near there, and it will keep going until it hits that limit switch and then continue to operate. I have it on just a little Wi-Fi button, a little key fob, with just, and I don't know. I was thinking that perhaps we didn't need to be concerned about putting this thing into the foot switch and trying to integrate all that stuff in. I think it's okay just to use it like it is. You're going to keep it in your pocket, keep it hanging on a chain or something, because all you're going to do is turn it off and on. So that's what I've done. You will notice that there's a real nest of wiring. Of course, a lot of this is just so that I can do it on the bench here. But there's going to be a challenge for me especially to try and work out wiring harnesses that will be able to coordinate all this. And I'm thinking, I have some ideas about how I'm going to do that. But for the sake of this video, all I'm going to do is create a PDF that only shows the parts. I think you saw the most of the use of it, and at least how it's hooked up. Probably enough that you could get started with it. And I'll just post that PDF with the parts list in the description of this video. And then at a later date, once I put this all together, create, build the whole transducer pole, then I will come back and show you what I did for the wiring harness. So I hope this is helpful. I hope it helps you to understand the control part of all of this little double shaft motor. And if I can help you in any way, just let me know. Thanks.